On this channel, we have reviewed some nice and rather expensive motherboards. So the next couple that we do will focus on those that are more on a budget. We ran a poll on the ASUS Prime B550M and B660M motherboard on which one we should do next. The B550M came in real close at first place. In future content, we will cover the B660M board, but for now, let's unbox, review, and talk about this board as an option. If you don't care about a bunch of features that aren't necessary, then this ASUS Prime B550M might just be for you. Coming in at only $119 US at the time of this video, it has a lot to offer for the money, especially as the AM5 motherboards and CPUs have driven the cost of a basic build up significantly. And the latest and greatest hardware isn't really necessary for gaming and doesn't offer a really good performance to dollar right now. This board is compatible with the 5000 series CPUs, and it's a good indication if it's on the box that the BIOS is updated to support that CPU generation. One thing this board doesn't offer is built-in Wi-Fi. If that's important to you, you can spend $20 extra and get the same board with Wi-Fi, or go on Amazon and spend about $10 for a USB Wi-Fi dongle, your choice. So this motherboard will be eventually paired with the 5700 XT and put in one of our future giveaway PCs. We haven't decided yet on the rest of the hardware that will go on that build, but right now we're thinking probably a 5600X or something equivalent to that. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end, as well as the pros and cons of this board. But first, let's go ahead and unbox and go over the basic features that this board has to offer. In the box, we have the product manual, motherboard specification, technical information, and web storage information sheets, ASUS control panel QR codes, support DVD, the I/O shield, M.2 hardware, and 2 SATA cables. Nothing fancy, just the essentials. Moving on to the board, we have the VRM heatsink, 8-pin CPU power header, 2 fan and 1 RGB header, 4 DIMM slots supporting 128 gigs up to 4866 MHz, 24-pin motherboard power header, USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, the B550 chipset, 4 SATA ports, system panel header, speaker header, 2 USB 2.0 headers, another fan header, 2 RGB headers, 1 addressable, COM port, front panel audio header, SPDIF out header, PCIe 4.0 slot, 2 PCIe by 1 slots, 2 M.2 slots, the top one supporting Gen 4 SSDs, another fan header, and the CMOS battery, AM4 socket. On the I/O, we have a nostalgic PS2 port, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, another throwback DVI-D and D-sub port, HDMI port, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, 2 more USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, Realtek 1 gigabit LAN, and 3 audio jacks. So this board has a 6+2 VRM setup. You may be thinking, is that enough to power a decent CPU? Well, yes. A 5950X has a TDP of 105 watts, so this board won't have a problem running that CPU. Now, don't expect to do any extreme overclocking. I would honestly slightly undervolt and run a negative PBO setting of -5 on all cores. Now, I do not recommend downgrading to a A520 board from this if you're looking to save a buck or two. There you will sacrifice PCIe 4.0 on the GPU and SSD slots. Now for some quick pros and cons. For the pros, it's affordable, has RGB headers, supports PCIe 4.0 on the M.2 and GPU slots, and has a user-friendly BIOS. The cons: no integrated Wi-Fi and only 1 gigabit LAN, not suitable for extreme overclocking, no USB Type-C ports, and no reinforced PCI slot. this is the case we will use this motherboard in, and then it'll be in one of our giveaways later this August. Not going to get into any more details as it's far away, but look for more content on this build before then. If you have any questions or anything to note, hit me up in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.